Hey, what's going on? Duality here. After a few requests on Instagram, because I've been showing off a lot of faceplant stuff, to go over some stuff in faceplant. So I have a little example here that I'm just going to show off real quick, and then we'll get right into Alright, so let's get into the faceplant. So this is the original patch that led to all of the other ones in the project. So they're all based off this first patch, which is, I would say, a fairly simple patch for faceplant, but we'll go top down and add the effects in after. So, alright, first sound. This is what it sounded like out of faceplant. Really nothing special. Bandpass filter, automated by the first LFO, takes out the highs and pretty much just leaves the mids and lows as it automates. And then we have a disperser, which just adds like some nice mid-range frequencies that I wanted. And then here's where the sound takes a drastic turn. So Faturator, super useful. It's basically just like a saturation plugin, but it has like fuzz and color and just a few nice things that make it go beyond that. So yeah, all I did here is just boost the drive and that's it. This is just a high cut filter. Again, automated by the first LFO. Nothing too crazy here. Next up, some more distortion. I really wanted to distort the shit out of this sound, apparently. I've been doing a lot of just distorting everything, and it's been doing pretty good. Same thing, just moved it from overdrive, which is what it's normally set on, to saturate, turn down the mix, and good to go. Resonator, which is just turning it into like a metallic sound, but don't worry, it doesn't stay there. Another delay is kind of, I use it kind of like a resonator, but it also different because it adds tonal delay stuff, which is really nice, I find. So it adds that like tail. And then I just wanted it wider, so I added some ensemble, but it's being automated by the first LFO, so it's only 50% when this peak is here, and then it goes down. So down, up, down. So it keeps it mono for the most part. And then another resonator just gives it a little bit more like tonality, disperser. Just adding some frequencies again, not really doing that much here. And then this Faturator for good measure, which is really kind of what gives the sound its tonality. So after we go through faceplant, now we go into these effects. But none of these are doing too much. They're just like boosting stuff and making it louder pretty much. Just making it loud, chopping off the tops with soft clip, taking out the lows, taking out some weird frequencies. And then nothing too crazy there. OTT, I use the Steve Duda one. I don't know, I've been enjoying that one more, so that's what I've been using. Just adds a lot of nice high end, I find, and that's just a verb rack that I pretty much put on most of my sounds. just gives it a little bit of a tail and cuts the 100 hertz. And also I have a dry and wet chain just so I can decide how loud the reverb is versus how quiet. So this is what that does. I might make it shorter in the end, but for now that's where it's at. And then just a soft clipper just at the end, just because I'm pretty sure this is clipping as fuck. I don't know if it, I think it is a little bit. And then I was just checking the imaging just to make sure that it's not too wide and not too mono. Next up, we're gonna go to this one. I'm not sure if anything is too different there. Okay, there's a lot different there. I'm not gonna go into any of these effects except for the grain delay because they're not that important, but basically it's the same patch except the harmonics are different. So they're at 5 instead of 2, I believe. And then I just added like grain delay. So this is how it sounds without. It just makes it sound like it's coming out of like a granular synth. And that's pretty much how I would describe it. I just changed the pitch. I put it to sync. This is still at 40, 100% dry wet. Nothing really that crazy here, but again, my style is really based around like using tonal delays and fucking around with that. So that's what that is. I believe this is pretty much the same patch as up there, except maybe some changed harmonics. Yeah, so the harmonic is different by 1. LFO 1 is at 1/8 triplets instead of 2/8. And it doesn't play constantly like the other one. It's just every other, I guess. So yeah, I believe this stays constant, except this changes. So this is the same as the first patch. It's just a long note. It's not like really a long note, but it's a longer LFO opening. So all I did is just go in here, up this little region, put it higher, and then extended the beats per minute, I guess, if you want to call it that. Pretty much that's it for this part. I'm pretty much only going to go over like the ones that aren't the mains, because the mains really stay constant throughout. It's more like the layers after that change, like this one, which is, I think, pretty much the same thing, just boosted the harmonics to 15. LFO rate is still exactly the same, and then I think I just changed a few things with the grain delay. Nothing crazy here. Nothing changes for this one, except I just go for a different notation length. That's pretty much it. We'll move on to the next. I believe this is exactly the same as this one, except I just changed the LFO 1 rate and the harmonics. But apart from that, nothing else changes. And honestly, like the song is pretty much consistent with that, where everything is just based off the first patch or some of the layer patches. I boost the harmonics or I change the grain delay. And that's pretty much what happens throughout the entire song until the second drop, where I just resample everything in phase plant, but I'll show that in a different video. So this one sounds really different. I think, again, grain delay and just harmonics. So yeah, this is pretty much phase plant. I'm gonna do some more videos on it, obviously, but I'm gonna go over some more stuff like how I start a sound in phase plant, because I've heard a few people say that it, like, they don't really get what they want out of it. So maybe I can kind of teach you my method of getting to a sound or finding something I like, and then you might get there faster. But again, no expert, just kind of still figuring out the plugin. But as promised, I will tease the next video, and I think this one is going to be actually pretty interesting, because I did some weird stuff with the second drop, and I think it's pretty interesting.